Hello, here we are.
Good morning.
Good morning. We need to give a content warning this morning.
Yep.
Do not listen to this episode with your children.
Unless you want an interesting conversation with them.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to talk about sex today.
Yes.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
That dates you.
Oh, it totally does. Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Totally
I was
fine with
not
that.
allowed to listen to that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Back in the day, no.
Yeah.
We are not talking about sex, baby.
I don't think my parents knew what music I was listening to. They
I
weren't
remember
really paying
belting
attention.
out like a virgin when I was, I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Small. I didn't know.
Yes.
And I remember my mom was like turning the radios really quickly.
Yeah. And I didn't even know what that meant.
I
like a virgin touched for the very first
It's just
time.
very catchy.
It's like,
I swear I was like 8 or 9. I had no idea. So dumb.
we were raised
Cringe.
in the 80s and 90s, back when the music was really good.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, little Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I
The
forgot about
Jets.
her.
Oh, Heart.
Oh,
So much
Paula
good
Abdul.
music. Paula Abdul. So much good music.
Her and her tap dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just hopefully we gave a good enough content warning. Don't have your kids listening to this because,
No.
we're going to talk really frank and openly
Yeah.
about sex.
Might blush.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to blush because you know what? Like, I think you're a lot more comfortable with this topic than I am.
Right.
We know this,
Yeah.
right? And I was taught, like, in my household, sex was never talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Right.
So I never got the talk. Even when I got married, I never got any sort of education whatsoever. And from my perspective, or my opinion, I guess, and everybody has a little bit different experience, but from what I saw in my life was like, it was not good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Only teaching, and like, because we grew up in Utah too, the schools can't even teach real sex education. All they can teach is abstinence, right?
Right.
And I don't think it's working.
It's just, especially in Utah.
We are failing our kids.
The purity culture in Utah is extremely toxic. And in any of these high demand religions, you're going to find purity culture.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
very
it's
harmful.
not unique to Mormonism.
It's very harmful.
I think so, too.
And the message I received, I was the same as you. We did not talk about it. I didn't get any information when I got married or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The message I got was, if you have sex, you'll get pregnant and ruin your life. If you have sex, you'll get an STD and die. Those were,
Wow.
It's consequence. The only way to save yourself is to literally save yourself and not have sex.
Yeah.
Especially for a girl, we had all the power.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
The way you dress.
Yes.
What you say, you have all the power. You're controlling the boys and their thoughts. So,
But isn't it so weird, too? It's like there's a mixed message. Like, we have all the power, but we also have no power.
right, absolutely.
Because, like, they take our virginity from us.
Right.
Like, it's like this thing that we have to give up.
right, you're gonna lose
That
it.
we're going to
I'm like-
lose it.
I'm like,
that,
where did I lose it to?
Yeah.
It's such a we gotta
it's
change
so bad. Yeah.
the whole verbiage about taking and losing. It's so dumb.
It's so bad.
It's such a natural part of life.
It's
It's not like this special gift. Sorry.
Yeah, no. No, you're good. You're right.
I'm gonna give you this gift. I've saved it for you. It's
Yeah,
just,
no,
like,
I hate
so toxic.
that term. I hate all of it. I hate that. I had looked up in the, of course, trigger warning for the Strength of Youth pamphlet, and there's a couple quotes I wanted to share because this is basically all it tells us about sex is it says, developing serious relationships early in life can lead to immorality. I think that immorality word is really interesting. So in God's sight, sexual sins are extremely serious. They defile the sacred power God has given us to create life. The prophet Alma taught that sexual sins are more serious than any other sins except murder or denying the Holy Ghost. So that's in the scriptures, freaking Alma 39:5. The Spirit of the Lord will withdraw from one who is in sexual transgression.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked out all these words, like they use these very strong words like immorality, extremely serious, transgression,
Next to murder. Defile, yes, that's a terrible one.
Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. This is all I ever heard about sex. So yeah, it's just not good.
So after you get married And now you're supposed to like have sex and it's supposed to be wonderful. And as women, like it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Like that takes some time and work. And if you don't have any kind of education, you're lost.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck am I doing wrong?
Yeah. And I think, I have heard people share different experiences. I think there's a spectrum. Some women feel the shame and the discomfort around sex maybe way more extreme than other people. I've heard some people say, I didn't really feel that. I didn't buy into that, or I felt completely comfortable with sex. Great. But I think the vast majority of us do have that, pretty strong.
Well, you see the movies and you think it's supposed to be like a certain way, and when it's not, then you wonder, what am I doing wrong? And it's not always fireworks for a woman.
Yeah.
Where it is for the man.
Yeah.
It's just not. So
yeah.
I always really enjoyed sex, but I always felt bad about enjoying sex. I always felt guilty about it.
Yeah. So it's like you enjoy it, but then you feel crap about it.
Well, it was supposed to be for bringing children into the world, right? And I even really stressed about taking my garments off for sex because I had heard different things about that. But I'm like, how do you have sex with your garments on? Of course I'm going to take those off. But then you got to hurry and put them back on as soon as you're done. Yes. And like, where does lingerie come into it? Where does the toys and the play and like, so after
it doesn't,
when I left the church, I kind of went through a rebellious streak where I'm like, I want to try everything.
Try all the things. Yeah.
I mean, that they've told me not to do. From alcohol to pot to porn. I want to try it all. And I did. And it was such a fun transition with my husband because it was so fun to talk about with him and try with him. It was it was almost like we were in a new relationship kind of. And the first time I was like, I want to watch porn with you. Yeah. And
did he die?
I think he died. And then he came back to life. And I don't think he quite knew what to do with me, but I found porn to be very educational at first. Yeah. And also erotic. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. And it's not like I want to watch it all the time or I don't.
Well, let's talk about that. Okay. Because the church teaches that if you watch porn, you're going to be addicted.
You're addicted.
Or you're already
and it's
addicted.
going to ruin your life.
You watch it one time. Right. And you're an addict. You're a porn addict.
You're a porn addict. It will ruin your life. And you can't recover from it.
I felt so much fear around porn. Like literally like a phobia. Yeah. Like if I came across anything on the internet, it would scare the shit out of me. Anything. So I was very careful.
And was there anything worse than if your kids thinking your kids might look at it or see it or find it?
Yeah. The first time we were watching our son's, internet usage very closely. And the first time, go ahead.
We're drinking wine.
She's trying to be very quiet, but let's refill the glasses.
Stella Rosa Black.
It's the best. It's a good starter wine.
Good grown-up juice.
For us, like, newbies. So the first time I saw that my son, did an internet search for something sexual, I don't remember what it was, I freaked out. Sure. I freaked the hell out because, and I was trying to instill fear in him about it because that's what I'd been taught. And like literally the stories are, if you watch porn, you're going to be an addict. You're going to be a sexual predator, a pedophile. You're going to cheat on your wife. You're going to be obsessed with sex, like all of these things. You can't be a good father, good husband, all these things. I truly believe that. Like it was ingrained in me so bad. So I remember like just having a come apart when I recognized that my son had looked at something.
The fear goes deep.
And it was really mild too. Yeah. It was like, I think I know what it was. He searched on the internet, girls kissing.
That is pretty tame.
I freaked out. Yeah. And I cried about it. So there is a real fear that is instilled.
Well, that's like one of the worst things that can happen as a parent is that
you realize your kids are sexual too.
Right. Honestly. So dumb.
So one of the thoughts that I had as we were preparing for today was I've been reading a lot about cult mind control.
Right.
And I hate to use the word cult when we talk about the church, because I don't think that it's very productive to use that word, because it makes people become defensive very quickly.
Right.
But
there's some aspects.
The fact of the matter is, if you look at Steve Hassan's work, his research, his books, there's a BITE model.
The BITE model.
And the B in BITE is behavior control. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that the church uses, this is a tactic that the church uses, is that they want to control who you have sex with, when you have sex, how you have sex. They want to control your clothing, your garments, your underwear. They want to control what you bring into your body.
What you see, what you listen to.
With the word of wisdom, what you see, what you listen to. Like, these are all, so pornography, all of that. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways they control that, because they don't physically force us to do something, they instill phobias. Mm-hmm. They instill deep, harmful fear in us about all of those things. So that is, I mean, they definitely...
It works.
Oh, yeah, it works. And they do that. And so they hit that BITE model just perfectly. So anybody who wants to argue with me about, like, whether the church uses mind control, there is no doubt in my mind. And that's just one of the things.
Yes.
Is the behavior control. We could talk about all the other ones. And maybe we should do a whole episode on that. But, like, it's huge. So, and some people it doesn't work on as much as others. But for me, it worked hardcore.
Yeah.
So I went into marriage being totally uneducated. I was very, I mean, dude, I was, I felt like I was very sexually attracted to my husband. Mm-hmm. The bishop's office was a revolving door when we were dating, and I felt shame about all of that. But as soon as we were married, I was like, what the hell? Like, something snapped, something changed, and I suddenly, like, struggled big time. So I know that there, it was all in my head, like, stuff in my head. It was messing with me bad.
Absolutely.
So I haven't ever been super brave or
but I don't know if it's about that. I don't know that it's. I think it's a personality thing. I just there's nothing wrong with thinking porn doesn't appeal to me. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
but I wanted to try. I want to try everything.
Well, and you should be able to try everything that you want to try. Maybe it's not for everybody.
Right.
But why not be able to try it?
I wanted to see what it was all about.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was, for me, it was very educational to see that. Yes. I mean, things I'd never seen before. I mean, honestly, growing up, the masturbation thing, I never touched myself.
Yeah, neither did I.
I was so scared. No. So to see the parts and how it all goes together, and I found it fascinating.
Yeah, I did too. Literally the first time I ever watched porn was like 6 months ago. Yeah. Like, honestly, here I am, 46-year-old woman.
Right. I know, me too. I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
My early 40s when I started, like, getting curious about it and giving myself permission to explore that.
Yeah, it is very educational.
And it was so fun to explore it with
your husband.
With my husband, because we've always had a great sex life.
Yeah.
But to step it up a little bit made it better. It really it was already good, but it's something we always talk about, adding stuff to our toolbox. Yeah. You know, we added porn to the toolbox. We added some different toys. I love body stockings. I don't know. I just loved that we could talk about fantasies. And so did you do that before you left the church a little bit? Like, maybe you dabbled a little bit, or did all of this kind of come about after leaving the church? You know, a lot of it happened in Hawaii. We went to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. That was at the very beginning. Where I knew I was kind of took off my garments, never put them back on. We drank. We had fantastic sex 3 times a day. We watched the porn. It was like crazy. No wonder he didn't want to come back, right? I know. He's like, I'm never leaving. Yeah, you said when he came home, he was just depressed for a while. Yes, it was. I'm like, dude. It was reality. No, this is back to real life. And you're like, it's so we can't have sex 3 times a day in real life. Poor thing. Poor guy. So, we also... Okay, so did it take... Was the shame and guilt just completely gone? No. Suddenly? Or was it gradual over time? No, I kept feeling like I have to talk myself out of this. Like, I can't, because it's so ingrained in you. Like, this is, I'm not finding anything wrong with this. This is not, I'm aware of all of the dark sides of the porn world. Yeah. But that's not what I was looking for. I just was looking for what it was on a basic level. Mm-hmm. So I found it very fascinating, educational. Mm-hmm. I was able to discuss fantasies about how I've always like been attracted to women as well.
Yes.
I came out and said, hey, I'm attracted to women. I'm bi.
Yeah.
Which I have never said before in my life.
Had you thought it before?
I had thought it.
Okay.
I thought it, but you don't, that's not,
yeah.
And I'm in a great marriage, totally in love and obsessed with my husband. So
yeah.
There was a part of me though for a minute that thought maybe I want to date a woman and see what that's like.
Yeah.
And kind of talked about that with my husband. But in the end, I'm super happy with my relationship. Yeah.
And like there's risks involved with that.
And
like
I don't have time.
You're like, you don't want to mess up a good thing.
Yeah, right. It wasn't that important to me in the end. It was more important that I just embrace that and be able to say it and be free about it.
Yes.
So that's all I'm.
And even just the fact that you can have that conversation.
Yes.
You can actually even just talk about it.
Yes.
Because
these are conversations that my poor husband never saw coming.
Yeah. Yeah. He never saw it coming.
It turned into more of like I wanted to embrace my sexuality. And so we talked about doing like my own Twitter account where I dress up and do sexy poses or whatever. I have followers on Twitter. I never show my face. My husband is in it to some extent. He's like a prop.
Yeah. Oh, he is
and he
in
takes,
it sometimes.
He takes the pictures for the most part. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's been really fun and liberating.
Yeah.
So it's not something I want to like do on a full-time basis. I haven't done it for a long time. Actually, we haven't done pictures for a long time. Yeah, just because, I don't know, I think it's phases I'm going through as I check off my list of things I want to try.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I'm into I love books. I gave you a book on sex.
That book was so great.
Years ago. Wasn't that so good?
Such a great book. Yeah. And I never would have bought that book on my own.
But that was totally just an educational book about having sex. Yeah. And it's okay. And here's how to have it better. Here's things you can do to increase your chances of orgasm and all of the good stuff. Like
all different positions and things like that. Yeah.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's all the things that I grew up thinking were shameful are actually not. It's just part of being a human.
Yeah.
It's just we're sexual beings. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
It's not just about procreating.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember being taught, first that it's just sex is supposed to be saved for procreation. But then I also remember receiving messages that, sex could just be a bonding experience between, of course, married people.
Right.
But yeah, so that wasn't a hurdle that I had to get over as far as like, understanding that we could totally have sex even if we weren't having babies. But yeah, there's a lot of that. So when you decide to try the Twitter account, like it was just like a curiosity, and
I wanted to take back we've been shamed to cover our bodies, the modesty thing. And I'm like, screw that. I got great boobs.
So you do.
I'm not like some supermodel, but I want to embrace like my curves and my sexuality. Yeah. So it was kind of.
Did it just feel really powerful?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
That was very cool. It's been fun. But it also, and I'm not saying everyone has to go out and do this.
No.
But for me, it was powerful. And it's something it's not like I have to keep doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was fun to do it. What's next kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that. And it's so fun to do it with my husband.
Yes.
It's so fun.
He loves it.
Yeah. It's been really, really fun and really good for our relationship.
I thought about doing those boudoir pictures. I've totally thought about that. I know a couple of people that have done them and they've turned out beautiful.
Yes. I follow some people who they're boudoir photographers in Utah.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous. Yeah. And they're beautiful.
Oh, I remember 10 years ago hearing about somebody doing boudoir photos and I was like, ew.
Yeah, porn.
That is like pornography.
Yes.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, and I thought about that too. I was like, and I can do it if I want. I just I want to
You
just try
have
it
boudoir
all.
photos
I
on
just
Twitter.
want to I
That's
just
what they
want
are.
to embrace it all, try it all.
Yeah.
And so far, I haven't, burst into flames.
Yeah.
Nothing terrible has happened to me. It's just been something fun to explore.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've tried pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We've talked about like threesomes because it's such a fun fantasy to think about, but the reality of it scares me.
Yeah. The reality is
too much.
Yeah.
But it's fun to talk about all of the different things, and not just my fantasies, but his fantasies too.
Yeah.
It's just brought us closer, and
yeah.
We thought we knew everything about each other. I mean, we were having sex before we were married, and it was great. It was super fun.
Best sex of your life.
Yes,
huh?
it was.
I totally missed
really,
that.
really good. Because
Not
it's
fair.
that taboo. You're not supposed to be doing this. Super, super good sex.
So you're like sneaking around.
Yes.
I feel like there's something really hot about that.
Yes.
In fact, when we were early in our marriage, we would like basically pretend that we were sneaking around. Pretend that my dad was in the next room, like it was really hot to be like, oh my gosh, we might get caught or something. Yeah, I miss that whole part of life.
There was one time we took a blanket on the side of my house at my parents'
Your
house
parents?
at night and had sex on the side of the house, and it's just
so fun.
Terrible. And it's so good.
See, I wonder if because I'm so like open with my daughter and just like she can have it. She can have
You're
sex.
taking something
I'm
from her.
taking something from her. She doesn't have to hide from me.
Robbing that.
No. maybe that makes it less exciting for her, but no, I still think
I think it's great.
I still think they have to be sneaky a little bit.
So I fully encourage anyone who's leaving to embrace it. If it's something you want to try or seek out, do it. Yeah. Like, you got this one life.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep.
Try it out. I'm not saying do illegal things or
right.
Or, anything that's going to harm others, but if it's something you want to try, and if it's something you don't, then you don't have to.
You don't have to do anything.
Right. You don't have to do anything, but I wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of a screw you
to
the church. And these old men who were telling me how to dress, like you said, all of the things.
And how to live your whole life.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but communication is key, right?
Oh, huge.
Like, it's huge. You have to be able to be open with your partner.
Right.
About what you want, what you're comfortable with.
Well, that's always, right? That's
yes.
But especially when you're going through this stuff.
But when, I think with my spouse, we've been a little bit, shy, a little bit embarrassed.
Sure.
A little bit, holding back about talking about things, we've just, and so, I want to get to a place where we're, more open to be able to say, talk about fantasies and things. I think we do a little bit.
Right.
But we're still both very, I don't know what the word is.
A little timid?
Probably timid is probably the word. Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
No. What you should do is set the mood.
Yes.
Light some candles.
Yeah.
Turn on some porn.
Okay.
And just see what he does. See what happens.
See what happens. It would be fun. It would be
I think it would be fun. I think you would shock him.
Yeah.
I think it would be surprising.
I have turned on porn for him. That we've watched together. Yes, we have done that. So, yes.
And did it lead to great sex?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Put it in your toolbox.
I put it in my toolbox.
We have a whole bin of sex toys.
It's
so
that.
heavy.
Yeah.
Some of it we haven't even gotten to yet.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. So
I
you're
love
collecting
it. It's so
things.
fun. And we don't do it. We don't. Sometimes we just like to have sex, man.
Yeah, just
get
regular.
In there. Yes.
Just get in there.
Get in there. Do it all. I think we've tried just about everything. It's been really fun. I have always told him I'll try anything once. So it's
that's
super
pretty
fun.
Amazing. I bet he loves that.
Well, it makes for a happy husband, but also a happy wife.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's not all just about pleasuring the other person. Mm-mm. Don't you think we've been taught that our pleasure isn't as important as theirs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's just a cultural, patriarchal
it's a cultural
thing, right?
And one that I never have felt in my marriage because
that's so good.
I feel like he goes out of his way to.
Yes, that's been my experience too. In fact, I think I'm kind of a selfish.
Well, I am now,
person.
But it's his fault.
But my husband cares so much about making me feel good that sometimes I think maybe he gets neglected a little bit. I'm a little bit selfish.
I've said it out loud. I've said I am. But it's his fault. He set it up this way.
He made you this way.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong either if you need sex therapy. I think that a lot of people... Doesn't hurt, man. It doesn't hurt. Get the books.
Yeah.
There's lots of great books about sexuality and improving your sex.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that up because as we were preparing for this, okay, I highly, highly recommend Natasha Helfer.
Yes.
She is amazing. Look her up, you guys. Google her, natashahelfer.com. She has a website. She has a whole therapy, Symmetry Solutions, I believe, is her company. I hope I didn't say the wrong thing.
She's great.
Look her up. She has all kinds of resources. So on her website, she has webinars, podcasts. You can sign up for sex therapy with her. Mormon. Okay, her podcast is called Mormon Sex Info. It is so good. I listened to an episode just last night called The 6 Principles of Sexual Health, and it was so helpful. Like if you have any, and you have to pay for her content, not her podcast's free, but like her webinars or like her therapy, obviously, she should get paid for what she does. She provides an amazing service. And she is post-Mormon. She
recently excommunicated.
That's true. She was excommunicated for talking too openly about sex, about masturbation being okay, about LGBTQ, relationships being okay. And she was in the public eye and she got excommunicated for it. So, but she comes from a Mormon background, which I think is so helpful because she comes from the same upbringing as we came from. She knows all the intricacies of the mind control. And so I highly recommend.
There's also Caitlin Dobson, I think. She's a Mormon, and she's a sex therapist that talks about using toys.
Nice.
And she gives recommendations on toys and lube.
Okay, so what does she have a podcast? Does she have a book?
She's on Instagram.
Okay.
I just follow her on Instagram.
On Instagram, okay.
She's fantastic. I love her stuff. She's even given me some insight on how to use a vibrator on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 40s.
Yes.
And I am sometimes upset about the time I've lost taking care of myself and being okay with that. But it's fine because I'm starting now and we're playing catch up, which is fine.
Yeah. But I can get really kind of annoyed when I think about, I would say it took me at like 10 years in my marriage before I realized that I was not going to orgasm doing sex the way we were doing it. I didn't know that there were different kinds of I didn't know that, like, what's the statistic? I swear it's like something like 70% of women don't orgasm just by vaginal sex.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
I did not know those things.
How would you know, though?
And it took me forever because I didn't dare research it either. So I thought something was wrong with me. I'm like,
that's so sad.
I can't quite get there. I'm so close.
Oh, the frustration.
But just not quite there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the frustration that causes. And then what that does to your relationship is I'm frustrated. I don't want to have sex.
Right.
If it always ends in frustration.
This is the end game, right?
Yeah, so I'm constantly rejecting him.
Yeah.
I am still trying to make up for the years and years and years of rejection of my husband. Because that'll mess with you too. Sure. My poor husband has been rejected more times than he can even handle.
I don't think he's alone.
Because I did not know my body. Right. It was my fault. Not my fault.
Not your fault.
But it was me. I didn't know my body.
You didn't know that you could take control of that.
Yeah. And once I figured it out, glorious day.
Well, and can we talk about, I've been on antidepressants on and off for years, and they mess with my libido. They mess with my sex drive. And so one thing that's helped me is I need a vibrator when we're getting started.
Yeah.
Turn on the porn, and I'm going to sit over here and use my vibrator for a while. It gets me warmed up.
Yes.
It's like starting the car engine to get you warmed up.
Yep.
Totally, that's all I need. I just need a little bit of stimulation to get that going.
To get you in the mood, to make you, because sometimes I'm not in the mood, and I feel a little bit like, hey, we should do this, and it does take me just a little bit of some thought work.
Yes.
Of saying, what do I want? And let's get to this place of I don't know, stimulating myself.
Well, just, get your, even watching, I love to, my husband will jump in the shower and I will turn on porn and watch it myself with my headphones in. Or I love to look at like Cosmo, their online content on sex. They have different positions and tips and tricks. It totally gets me turned on. I'll look up erotica passages. I'll just look up erotica passages and read them.
And it's like a story or something.
Well, it's like a super hot sex scene that you're reading.
Yeah.
Totally turns me on. I love reading erotica literature. That totally turns me on.
Okay, and you can Google that.
You Google it. You can put it in Pinterest. You can say erotic.
Really?
Erotic passages.
You're giving me ideas because I love trashy romance novels.
Yes,
I got super into those for a while. And it doesn't take me very much. Like literally I could just watch like a sex scene on like a normal regular show. Like I don't even have to see porn.
Gets you all hot and bothered,
right? Oh my God. Yeah. Can we talk about sex scenes for a minute?
Like
what
I know what you're going to say. A mountain between us. Right? With Kate Winslet and
Idris Elba. Oh. That's I get turned on just thinking about it.
Right?
That is There's
hottest. Some hot ones, but that one was, what was that?
It was so good.
I'm just going to have an orgasm here.
Oh my God. He is hot.
He's so hot.
Okay.
The chemistry was good.
The other one that I really love is it called The Lucky One with Zac Efron and I can't even think of her name.
You had me at Zac Efron.
I know, right?
Who cares Zac Efron and the blonde Insert chick. Me.
Yes. They have some really hot sex scenes in that one.
And you know what? You can do a search on hot movie sex scenes.
Yes.
And watch
YouTube
them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's and that's sometimes that's all it takes. But also quality lube.
Yeah.
As we get older, especially, keep it close by, and quality sex toys. Don't buy the cheap plastic ones that smell funny.
Oh, okay.
And that Caitlin Hobson, she's very good at
knowledgeable
telling
about
you
that stuff.
These are
Oh, good.
Like invest in yourself.
And you know what's nice is that because maybe there's some embarrassment around buying those, being able to buy them online, right?
Yes, that's very discreet.
Because you don't have to go to a store and feel stupid. I don't know. Some people don't feel stupid, but for me, like I want to be discreet and not
going to. I mean,
I want to run into somebody I know or even ask questions.
I do. I want to be like, hey. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
No, I love shopping online though too, and I love shopping with my husband, and we
what
use the toys
fun?
Together, and not just toys for me. Like there's toys for couples, there's toys for him.
Okay,
but you don't even
I don't
need
even know that.
You don't even need that though. In the end,
I mean, at the point that I'm at in my marriage now, I don't necessarily feel like anything's missing, but we haven't tried a lot of toys and stuff, but we have great sex. Mm-hmm. I laugh about it because it's almost like it's kind of awkward to say that, but I don't feel like something's missing, but for sure I'm learning a lot from you. Like I'm going to look up a lot of these things.
Well, and we always tease that if I don't have like at least 10 orgasms during sex, it's like, that's too bad. Too bad for me. Like I'll tease him. It was a letdown. I'll tease him like, well, it was okay. Like that's just where we've gotten that.
10?
I have figured. I don't know if I'm gifted or if he's gifted, but I can do multiple orgasms over and over and over. Once we get started to the point where I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I gotta go to bed.
I can have multiple, but not 10. I've never had 10.
Really?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
No, sometimes I want to get a counter so I can count because I lose track.
Yeah.
And it's not every time, of course. Yes,
yeah.
But
you are gifted or he's gifted or both.
I don't
you
know.
guys really have it down.
I honestly don't think every woman can do that, can have multiple orgasms. So maybe that's like a nature thing. I don't know. Yeah. But as we've gotten older,
that's fantastic. You're doing something right.
Yeah, we're figuring it out. So
we're definitely doing something right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not too shabby. So.
Oh, my husband's gonna be jealous.
I don't
Listening to this.
Wait,
she has 10?
And honestly, like we probably, once a week. I mean, it's not like we're having sex every day.
Well, what I say to my husband is it's quality, not quantity.
Right. But I think he could do it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a high sex drive, and that...
Yeah. He has teased, though. I have heard him say that he can't keep up with you.
Well, so... I think that's
he's joking.
Few and far between. Like, when we're on vacation,
Yeah.
I think I wear him out.
Yeah.
So
what is it about vacation?
Because you're not doing laundry and nobody's asking you for
anything.
Stuff and touching you, like, kids hanging on you and you don't.
Homework.
I mean, he wonders what it is. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is a pretend. I'm not doing any of the, nobody's asking me for anything. I don't have to make dinner. I don't have to work, laundry, household, all of the things, the demands are not there.
Yeah.
I know. So then what's left? Just sex. I just want to do sex. Let's just do the sex all the time.
See, I need a good 24 hours from the time I get on vacation, because I'm still anxious about leaving and what's happening at home, and are my kids okay? Like, I have to ease into my vacations. So by day 2, I'm usually pretty good.
I find a quick way to decompress is a quickie.
Is
sex. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing. I don't have to have an orgasm every time. I just like the connection. I like the energy. We've even gone back to like using condoms sometimes because it's so, like, it just seems wrong and dirty.
Yeah.
Taboo. You know?
And it's quick and clean and
it's kind of super hot.
Yeah.
I have a little kit that's just a little bag full of my favorite toys and lube, and it's easier access than my big bin.
Big bin.
That we can just grab out and stuff. But I'm not saying that everyone has to do that.
Right.
Or that you have to do it every time. But just start somewhere. Just start, have a conversation. Send him a sexy video. Send him a hot pic of you.
Yeah.
I mean, guys are very visual. They like that stuff. Buy him a sex toy and tuck it under his pillow, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. See,
play
you're
together.
So fun. You're such a fun
this
wife.
is just stuff because I've researched it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have we have a good sex life.
Yeah.
I just really, really enjoy it. Yeah. And I sometimes wonder, like, why did we do all the kids? Why did we have all these kids?
Right.
We could be having sex every day, but no. There's kids, and we even share a bed with our stinking dog.
How do you do that?
He just knows. He goes to the corner. Poor thing. Sometimes we shut him out. He is problematic, though. I don't recommend sharing a bed with your dog.
Yeah, and you can't kick him out.
He's like
He'll
a giant
freak out
cock
at the
block.
door.
Yes.
Cock block.
He's a big cock block. I love him dearly, but bring wine into it. Try alcohol. Like,
yes.
Sometimes I think that's very helpful as we're trying to loosen up and stuff. Yes. Alcohol's a great way to kind of loosen up and not be so uptight.
Yes, and it definitely helps me relax.
Right?
Oh, yes. I love it.
I always say wine makes me loose and
slutty.
Wine makes me loose and slutty, and then it also puts me right to sleep. So the timing is...
You have to be quick. Let's hurry and do this before I fall asleep because the wine is hitting me.
But it doesn't have to be like the movies where it's like hours and hours long. I always think of the Tim McGraw Faith Hill song, Let's Make Love All Night Long. I'm like, no, that's not real realistic. Life. No, let's get quality. And women, we need some time to warm up. Yep. If we want to have, but we don't, like, I tell my husband, I don't need to have an orgasm every time. I enjoy just being. Oh, okay. I do.
I'm very disappointed if I don't, so I do.
That's all right. Yes. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. But I just like sometimes just, he'll come home for lunch in the middle of the day and I'm like, hey, come on. Quick. Not all the time, but sometimes I just want to get my hands on him. Yeah. So
I love that.
And we've been married like 24 years.
Yeah, you'll be 24 years and we're 25 this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
can you believe that?
That's a lot of sex.
I'm pretty impressed with us.
Right?
Yeah.
We're still on our first marriage. I always joke, we're running out of time. We're probably stuck with each other. It's too late to start over.
Too late.
But really, okay, so honestly, when it comes to having a successful, happy marriage, our husbands, they want sex. Mm-hmm. They like sex. They like the blowjobs. They doesn't mean we have to, but they're really pretty simple. Yeah. I found with my husband, it's pretty simple. He needs a little of attention, and it's a huge payoff for me too. Yeah. Like, it's not like I'm not getting anything out of it. Right. And it just makes for a happy marriage. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if people, to me, it's so easy. Yeah. It's so easy to nurture that. Yeah. And make him happy. And it's a big payoff for me too. So.
Yeah. I think for some people, and I think I've been in this space before where I've gotten in my head about things. Mm-hmm. And I've actually talked to my life coach about this. And I was kind of saying, like, I don't need sex that much. Like, I don't need it. I'm using air quotes, need it as much as my husband does. And she's like, okay, you need to stop thinking about it as like you need to do something or whatever. She's like, what do you want? Think about what you actually want. And that was actually really, just changing that word was really interesting for me. It felt actually really freeing.
Yeah.
Because suddenly it was like, okay, there's not an expectation or a need or a manual that I have to follow about what I'm supposed to be doing. Because this is something me and her talk about a lot, is the manuals we have for ourselves.
Yes.
And whenever you find yourself saying things like, I should be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that, that means you're running a manual on yourself about what you have in your head about how you should be acting, who you should be, just things that...
Does it make you resentful?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking when you're saying that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it breeds resentment.
Yeah.
Because you think there's this expectation, but you're doing it to yourself most of the time.
You're creating this.
You're creating it. It's not my husband like making me feel guilty like he expects something of me. And some marriages do that. Yeah. There are some partners who do that, who guilt trip you and make you feel bad. My husband does not do that. I've done it to myself.
Sure.
And I've set up a manual about myself and what I should be doing and what he needs and that I should need it too. Or I should make myself, I don't know. And she's like, but what do you actually want? And if you change the way you think about it,
it's true.
So much of it is in your head. So what do you want your sex life to look like?
Yeah.
What do you want it to look like?
That's great, actually. Yes.
Yeah. And that was like such a freeing thought for me. Like, I could create in my head what I want.
Yeah.
There's no expectation. There's no like necessary steps.
Well, we're so used to a checklist that the church provides, right? We're so used to a checklist that, and these are the parameters of of what you can do. And, it's once you kind of throw that out and say, I'm going to create my own, like, I'm going to figure this out for myself and see what I enjoy, what I like, and do it with my partner. It's just like so freeing and fun and liberating. I've loved it. The last few years especially have been really good.
The best
so good.
Ever. Yes. For us too.
It's been really fun.
When you can just create what you want and recognize it. Because a lot of the hang-ups with sex, they're in your own head.
Absolutely.
And they can even have physical issues.
Yes.
You can have so much, wrong thinking in your head that you can't orgasm.
Yeah.
Because you're in your head too much,
Yeah, it is a mind game, right? Your biggest sex organ is your brain. So if we have to really like relax and let go and just be in the moment. And it's so hard for women to do, I think.
Yeah.
If we're thinking about, like, we're having sex and we're thinking about what's for dinner and did I turn the laundry over? And, you can't. Yeah. And it's a really great time to just focus on your partner and yourself. And it's not that, it's half hour, maybe 45 minutes to really just focus on each other out of all of life. Like, just make it about you too.
Can be super bonding.
Yes.
Bonding you together and bringing you closer to each other.
Because it doesn't always have to be about the kids or the bills or all the stresses. Right. It can't be, because one day the kids are going to be gone and you're going to be left with each other. And so nurture your relationship now so that it's good later.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a payoff. So
yeah, I think my husband has in his mind that as soon as the kids are gone, that's all we're ever going to be doing.
Sex.
Yeah.
Naked. Try it.
We're never going to put on clothes.
Try it. That's the fantasy.
Right? Like, when are we getting rid of these kids?
But
aren't they moved out yet?
It's not like I'm a skinny supermodel, but I embrace these curves and I love putting on sexy lingerie. Like, just experiment.
Yes.
Just try it.
Okay, can we talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
Because our body image really plays into it.
Yes.
And in the last year, I think I've made some pretty good strides about accepting my body the way it is.
And you've made some efforts.
I really have. And I'm really like I can look at the parts of my body that I really like and focus on those instead of the one part I really, really hate, which I have focused on my entire life. I have spent so much time wasted.
Hating your body.
Hating my
body. Battling your body.
I mean, neither one of us are perfect models. And like, I think we have to just embrace who we are.
And as soon as you embrace your sexuality and you step out in a sexy outfit and you just own it, man, your husband is going to think that is so fucking hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all it is. He doesn't.
Yeah. He loves you. Care. He doesn't care. Yeah. He doesn't care that you have stretch marks.
Right.
And,
Well, we have these awesome bodies who created children. We fed them. We've raised them. I mean, we should be grateful that we have these amazing bodies. Let's embrace it.
Yeah.
We don't have to be a size 2.
Mm-mm. I am not going to starve myself in order to look a certain way.
No.
I'm not going to, beat myself up for the way I look. Like, I just got to a point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to look the way I think in my head I should look. There's another manual, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I should be looking this way. I should look like this. No. Yeah. This is what I look like. Mm-hmm. And the only way for me to just completely be okay with it is just embrace it and be grateful for it and show it off.
And, you find what you're comfortable with. Yeah. If you want like a long, sexy satin nightgown, maybe that makes you feel more comfortable, then do that. If you're not into, and just try different things. I ordered a whole bunch of different. I love the body stockings. They're very soft and stretchy. And I thought at first I'm going to look like a sausage, right? Popping out. No, they're very like flattering and they're fun, and the texture when you're having sex of that, it's just, I don't know, it's very fun to try different things. But I don't necessarily like a bodysuit, with the thong in the back. So I have some, but I've just kind of figured out I like this stuff better. Yeah, I'm kind of
sexier. Picky because it needs to be comfortable. Yes. I don't want something too restricted to, underwire, push up, all kinds of stuff. Like, I just like a really simple, good fabric that's just like soft and comfortable.
And it doesn't have to be Victoria's Secret. You can get a little bit racier, like Adam and Eve. Yeah. Fredericks of Hollywood has some fun, sexy, and they have a wide range of sizes. Okay. So there's just lots of options, and you just have to sit down and take the time to like research it. Buy yourself something slutty. Yeah. Your husband's going to love it. He's going to love it.
Just ask her husband. He loves it.
Right. I think he loves it. Yeah. So it's just, we used to, it used to be like rolling over at 2 a.m. and putting the moves on him and having sex or climbing in the shower with him. And, I mean, there's lots of stuff. We haven't done that for a while. I should.
Now that I think about it.
He loves, and I love that he loves it. It makes me feel good that I can make him happy. Yeah. And what else is there? I mean, it's not that hard to keep men are pretty simple. Yeah. Mine is.
I would agree. Yeah. Mine's a lot like yours.
He wants to be, he just wants to be close.
Weirdly enough. Well, and this is proof. I think this conversation and hearing you share a lot of this stuff is proof that you can get past what the church tried to teach you, right? Like, you can deconstruct it. You can break out of that mindset. You can like gain confidence in yourself and in your sexuality, just being real and authentic and who you are. Embrace it. Yeah. If you are bisexual, like, how freeing is it to be able to just label it and say, hey, I accept that as myself.
It's just not, it's not like something I'm hiding anymore. And it's like, see a hot woman and I'm just like, I will nudge my husband.
You can appreciate. Yes. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, she is hot.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So I don't think we'll be visiting any swingers resorts anytime soon.
But some people do.
Maybe they did. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that would be really fun.
I've seen a lot of talk about that in the ex-Mormon community, like non-monogamy and polyamory and some of these things. And I'm so much more open to talking about and learning about stuff like that. And I'm way more excited. Like, when I was a Mormon, I would have judged that so harshly. I would have been like, what the heck? That's the worst thing ever. No, you know what? If two people, in a relationship are communicating about something they want to try and they want to try it, go for it.
If you're not hurting anyone, it's
not
about us anyways. It's about, it's not, we don't have any place to judge anyone. And maybe just try something. Like, just be brave. Yeah. Like, this week or the next couple weeks, just do something that would surprise your husband.
Yeah, that maybe would be a little bit outside of your comfort zone.
Like, go on, find a fun toy or a sexy outfit, and even just buying them like some cool, cute little sexy boxers or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's something for them, something for you.
Yeah, like matching undies. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Get into a sex book.
Yes.
Like, get a sex position book or...
Get on Natasha Helfer's website and listen to some of her webinars. Dude, she has got some good freaking stuff on there. Yep.
Yeah. Get yourself a toy. You don't have to do it all at once. Just try one thing and see what that does.
That is great advice.
And if you just try it and surprise him, it makes for great conversation after.
Yeah.
So, I love talking dirty.
I
love talking dirty. I love talking dirty during sex. I love teasing.
I love that.
Yeah. Just try something.
Yeah. Oh,
like, I think I've totally floored my husband when sometimes I'll start talking about, we're having sex and I'll start talking about if another woman was there. I mean, it's just great. Like, he doesn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So, but now I've got to up my game, right? Because he's going to catch on to me. He's going to be like wanting that and more. Right? He's going to be expecting it. So. I like shocking him a little bit whenever I can.
Right. That is too fun.
Well, try it. Awesome. Have the sex. Have great sex.
Have sex.
Have fantastic sex. Have more sex.
Yes.
Or just have
any sex. If you're not having any.
Have sex with yourself.
Yes, please. Discover your own freaking body and how it works and what is pleasurable to you.
And if you don't know where to start, just get on the internet. Find yourself a book. Like, teach yourself.
The internet is not as scary as the church made us think.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. You can do searches.
Right.
Of course, you want to be careful around your kids and things like that.
Right.
But you can learn a lot.
Right.
You really can.
Mm-hmm. And it's important.
I love it.
It's important. Take care of yourself.
Yes. Take care of you.
That's what's... And the Stella Rosa black wine.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend. Anything by Stella Rosa. I think you turned me on to it.
All the flavors are
love
good.
it. Love
Peaches.
Peach.
Yep. Peach is my favorite, and black. Yeah.
Black's the top.
They're so good. So if you haven't started drinking yet, do that too.
Start drinking wine while you research.
Yes.
And that will, I'm telling you, you'll probably lead right to sex, and it will be great.
It will. And you'll be much happier. Oh, I love it.
Blushing.
Great conversations here. Yeah. Well, that's fun. Anything else you want to share before we end this?
I think we covered a lot.
I think we have.
I could keep going, but
that's probably good.
I think we got it good.
Okay.
We got some good stuff in there.
Awesome. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.